In The Black Company, a band of mercenaries navigates a world where the lines between good and evil blurs, serving a powerful sorceress who may be humanity's last hope or its greatest threat. When a prophecy hints at the return of the legendary heroine, the company must decide if they will fight for redemption or continue their ruthless paths. The first novel in the Black Company series was published in 1992, and the series now consists of 11 novels and more than a dozen short stories. There was even a rumor of becoming a TV series in 2017, but that never came about. In The Black Company, Glen Cook masterfully weaves a tale of dark fantasy that plunges readers into a gritty, moral ambiguous world of a mercenary brotherhood. This gripping narrative, filled with complex characters and unexpected twists, makes The Black Company a must-read for anyone who loves dark, immense fantasy. So with that, let's see what the Deep Dive crew has to say about what's going on in the first of this classic series, The Black Company. Buckle up.
All right, ready to get our hands dirty.
Always up for a little literary grime, especially when it's Glen Cook we're talking about.
This time, we're diving deep into The Black Company. First book, No Prisoners.
And trust me, you wouldn't want to be a prisoner in this world.
Not unless you have a thing for soul-crushing magic and mercenaries with questionable morals.
Speaking of mercenaries, we're dropped right into the action with The Black Company, seen through the eyes of their analyst, Croker.
Croker, the guy who gets to chronicle all the mayhem.
Oh, he doesn't just chronicle it, he embodies the company's cynical, seen-it-all attitude, and that's what makes this book so damn readable.
You're not just reading a story, you're practically knee-deep in the mud with them.
Exactly. We're talking gritty, first-person accounts of battles, betrayals, and let's not forget the magic system that seems to operate on a whole other level of terrifying.
And he never lets you forget it. So we've got excerpts from the early chapters lined up. Just a taste of what makes this world so captivating, starting with the lovely locale of Beryl.
Beryl. Where to even begin? Let's just say it's the kind of city that lingers with you long after you finish the book.
Yeah, and I don't mean in a good way. Cook doesn't just tell you it's a wretched hive of scum and villainy. He makes you feel it. The heat, the stench, the sense of oppressive despair hanging in the air.
It's like the city itself is a living, breathing entity. And it's not there to offer you tea and biscuits, it's more like a punch in the gut.
And as the company's doctor, Croker's got a front row seat to all the delightful ways Beryl can mess you up.
From mundane illnesses to mysterious poisonings. Don't forget the crabs. Can't forget those.
Right. Like casually mentions treating crabs as if it's just another Tuesday. You know it's bad when that's the baseline.
And it gives you a sense of what the Black Company is really about. They're here because the syndic, the city's ruler, hired them to maintain order, or at least his version of it.
The pay was good, as Croker puts it, but not in coin of the soul.
Which tells you everything you need to know about the Black Company's moral compass.
They're not here to save the day. They're here to get paid and get out.
Which makes it even more interesting when things inevitably go sideways.
And by sideways, you mean a giant, ominous ship with a frickin' silver skull on its sails just appears out of nowhere.
Subtle, isn't it? It's like parking a tank on your front lawn and blasting opera music at 3 in the morning.
Talk about an entrance. And nobody knows who they are or what they want.
But it can't be good. And as if that wasn't enough, something else decides to make Beryl its personal playground.
They're for Valaka. Just saying the name sends shivels down your spine.
Oh, it should. Imagine a creature that's a horrifying blend of speed, strength, and a particularly nasty appetite.
And we're not talking about a taste for fine dining either.
No, this thing devours you from the inside out.
Yeah, let's just say you don't want to be around when this thing gets hungry.
And its escape, coupled with the arrival of the Skull Ship, throws Beryl into utter chaos. Riots, looting, you name it.
Suddenly, the Black Company's job description just got a whole lot more complicated.
You could say that. So what happens when a city is teetering on the brink, a monstrous predator is on the loose, and a mysterious ship is casting a long shadow over everything?
Well, if you're the Black Company, you fall back, regroup, and try to figure out how to survive the day.
Self-preservation over heroism. That's the Black Company motto.
Can't argue with that, especially when you're dealing with forces you don't understand. Which brings us to the real power players in this whole mess. The Taken and the enigmatic lady they serve.
This is where Cook starts to weave in his brand of unsettling intrigue. We don't know much about them, but their presence alone is enough to make everyone nervous.
And when I say everyone, I mean everyone. The Syndic, who was practically running the city like his personal piggy bank, is suddenly bowing and scraping.
Because these aren't just powerful individuals, they represent something ancient, something vast and ultimately unknowable.
And that's never a good sign in a Glen Cook novel.
Yeah.
Talk about an atmosphere. It's like suddenly everyone's realized they've been playing checkers and the lady just showed up with a chessboard.
And she's playing 3 moves ahead, which is where the Black Company gets caught in the crosshairs. Again.
It seems to be their specialty. Stuck between the Syndic, who's losing his grip, and these terrifyingly powerful Taken.
Talk about out of the frying pan. So they're approached by one of these Taken, a figure called Soul Catcher. And if that name doesn't give you pause, I don't know what will.
Soul Catcher. Yeah, it's not exactly the friendly neighborhood bartender. You get the feeling this guy collects souls, like some people collect stamps.
And the proposition he puts to the Black Company, it's a doozy.
Lay it on us. What does the lady want with this ragtag band of mercenaries?
Remember the Forvalaka problem? The lady wants it dealt with. Permanently.
And she's not going to send an exterminator. Not with the Syndic still breathing down everyone's neck.
Precisely. It's a 2-for-1 deal. Eliminate the Forvalaka, which is terrifying enough on its own, but also remove the increasingly unhinged Syndic from power.
The Black Company. Beryl's very own cleanup crew. It just happens the clients are beings of unimaginable power. You know me. I got to ask, what's in it for the Black Company? Besides, not being turned into shadows or whatever it is that Taken do when they're bored.
Well, there's the obvious. Survival.
Can't argue with that.
They're in a city on the verge of collapse, surrounded by forces they don't understand. This offer, it's a lifeline. A way out.
Even if the exit door leads through the mouth of hell. Though, knowing the Black Company, they'd probably ask what's on the menu down there. But this is where things get really interesting, right? Because we're talking about a group of mercenaries who are essentially being asked to play kingmaker.
Exactly. And it forces you to examine just where do their loyalties lie? Are they just in it for themselves, or is there a shred of something else motivating them?
Because it's not like they're squeaky clean heroes, right? They've got their own share of darkness in their past.
Oh, absolutely. Cook doesn't shy away from that. They've done things, seen things, made choices that would make most people sick. But there's a code there, somewhere.
A mercenary code, which is maybe why the lady chose them. They get the job done, no questions asked.
Presumably. But this is where the real mystery kicks in. What are her motivations? Is she truly acting out of concern for Beryl, or is this a power play?
That's the thing with the lady. She's this enigma wrapped in layers of shadow and power. You never quite know what she's thinking or what her endgame is.
And that uncertainty, that sense of lurking menace, it permeates everything. It's like a cold wind blowing through the pages. You know something bad is coming, but you don't know when or how.
And just when you think it can't get any weirder, the Black Company gets invited to the big leagues. The Tower, the lady's own personal fortress.
It's a location that's as much a character as any of the Taken, maybe even more so. And it's got this oppressive atmosphere that just oozes with wrongness.
Even Croker, Mr. Seen It All himself, gets creeped out, especially by that rock.
That damn rock. It's never explicitly stated what it is, but you get the feeling it's somehow connected to the lady, to her power.
It's like a heartbeat, or maybe a ticking time bomb. And it's in this setting, with the tension cranked up to 11, that the lady decides to grace Croker with her attention.
She thanks him for his service, requests a private audience.
Oh boy. Never a good sign, is it? What could the most powerful being in the land possibly want with the Black Company's cynical, slightly cranky chronicler?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Right. It's like, thanks for cleaning up the Forvalaka mess. Now come closer. I want to sniff your soul.
And Croker, being Croker, is understandably freaked out. This isn't some 2-bit dictator or power-hungry mage. This is the lady, the top of the food chain.
The kind of power that could probably turn you into a newt just by thinking about it.
Pretty much. So we're left with this incredible cliffhanger, this sense of foreboding that's so thick you could cut it with Croker's scalpel.
And that's where Cook leaves us, dangling over the abyss of what the hell just happened.
Pretty much. But that's the beauty of the Black Company, right? It sucks you in, makes you question everything.
And just when you think you've got a handle on things, Cook pulls another rug out from under you.
Every chapter is like peeling back another layer of darkness. You're never quite sure what you're going to find, but you can't help but keep looking.
And that's why we love it.
Huh?
It's dark, it's gritty, and it never, ever goes the way you expect.
So, to anyone listening who loves their fantasy with a healthy dose of grim realism and a cast of characters who are as unforgettable as they are morally ambiguous, do yourself a favor and dive into The Black Company.
Just maybe don't read it right before bed. You might start seeing shadows move in the corners of your room.
And hearing whispers on the wind. But hey, a little paranoia never hurt anyone, right?
Until next time, keep those pages turning. And remember, sometimes the best heroes are the ones who are just trying to survive another day.